Shericka Jackson made little to zero impact on the women's 4x100 meters team, and therefore would have been more valuable, in my opinion, running on the 4x4 team. Hello everyone, welcome to another upload. Hope you're all doing great. Hope your pressures have not gone down, because I know yesterday, I saw the comments on social media. I didn't even do a video yesterday because I was like, Jano, what is this? And I was like, boy, Jamaica athletics team mash up my Mother's Day. But anyways, I've seen the comments and I just want to give my take on the issue. So Jamaica has qualified for the 4x100 Relay World Championship, and I think that was from day one, and essentially that is what is important. So kudos to those ladies. But I'm just looking on it from day one. I commented Shericka on the anchor. I said it. She didn't change gear on the anchor, and I was like, I know that Shericka is coming off a season that was played with injury, a season she didn't, run much. So we understand that it might take some time to come back, right? So I'm not even going to be knocking Shericka too much, because I know that as fans we can be so harsh on the athletes, and the truth is we can't really go out there and do it. But in my opinion, from day one, the team could have qualified without Shericka Jackson. That's the honest truth. The team could have qualified with 3 youngsters and Shelly and Fraser Price. And if you agree with me, you can drop a comment. If I fully miss me talk, you can drop a comment. But they did qualify from day one with Shericka Jackson. Now, the 4x4 team, we saw Jodine Williams on the team. I've never seen Jodine Williams running a 400 meter race in my life. If you have seen it, then you can comment as well. Maybe a champ, she probably ran 400 meter for St. Mary High, but I can't recall ever seeing that young lady running a 400 meter. She started her season good outdoors in Jamaica over the 60 meter, which in my opinion, it means that she probably could have run a decent leg on the 4x100 meter team. So, as I say, any of the youngsters along with Shelly and Fraser Price, we could have qualified for the 4x100, right? Alright, so day one is concluded. We already qualified for the 4x1. So really and truly, it's just going out there to run for the prize money and bragging rights and seeding. And based on what I'm hearing now, the reason the team, the 4x4 team, didn't show up for the repechage round was because Jodine Williams was injured. So the conclusion from day one, Jodine running, is because we didn't have anybody else to run. And I know a lot of people going to be cussing the coach and cussing the administration, but I've always been saying this. Yeah, cuss them, they deserve to be cussed, but I mean, if nobody shows up, if the athletes who are capable don't show up to run, then what do they do? So that's the reason that Jodine Williams was running on the 4x4 team. A young lady who had no business running 400 meters. I'm a course she a jog and whatever, but that's the best that she could do. Now, the team didn't show up on day 2 to try and pick up a spot because Jodine was injured. So that means that they never have nobody else. And I'm saying the 4x1 team already qualified. Why a Shericka Jackson could go run on the 4x4 team? And personally, I think that would have been good for her, because she's just coming off her injury play season. Running a 400 meter will definitely help you in your 200 meters. So why Shericka could go and run the 4x4? But I've recognized, we don't know what happens behind the scenes. And I realize that, if these athletes say, yo, me not run that, or them coach say, them not present them athletes to run a certain thing, then that is just it. And maybe that is what happened. But the reality is, I think Shericka Jackson would have made a better and made some contribution to a 4x4 team. Because the truth is, she never really make any contribution to the 4x1 team. When in day 1, when she got the baton, she was probably in line with Spain or something like that. Or even Spain was ahead of her, she could have run down Spain. So she could have done no chasing at all, close no gap. She just stayed consistently in that same gear. Day 2, me never ever did see Great Britain. Shericka got the baton before Great Britain and probably in line with Spain. And she came third to both those athletes. So I think, given that we had already qualified for, the 4x1, she could have got there and run the 4x4. That's just my opinion. As I said, I don't know what behind the scenes, me I'm no coach or anything, but that is my personal take on the matter. Now, on to the men's 4x1. But I tell you, that one really, really mashed up my meds yesterday. I mean, I've seen the comments, people cussing the coaching staff to say the same leg we messed up the day before, why you brought them back. The reality is, we had options, because I saw they put Brian Level in the mixed relay. He could have gone into that race, because guess what? The mixed relay was really just a prize money. There's no spot that you were running for World Championship. That event is not on World Championship calendar. So they could have taken out one of those athletes and put in a Brian Level, but who would they have taken out? Yohan Blake? Because even though purses are saying, and I agree to an extent, that Yohan, looking back, saw what was happening with Julian and probably should have just stood there and wait on the baton. The fact is, even if you had taken out Yohan Blake, the result possibly would have been the same. How would you have known that injury was going to plague Julian in that race? So that one is kind of a sticky situation to decide who you would have taken out, so the outcome would have been different. The reality is, the man them should have just qualified from day one. From day one, they should have just qualified, and the baton mishap should have never happened. I mean, see the athletes, a search the button, hold out your hand and wait on the baton. So, that should have never happened from day one. And it's like deja vu is like a piece of salt. This is like a piece of crosses. Day two, we still ended up in the situation of not qualifying. As it is at this moment, I think one of the positives for me from yesterday that I was truly excited about was that the 4x4 men were able to hold on by the skin of them teeth and qualify. And because possibly the same thing would have reached us with the Olympics, with the men 4x4 team. Now the 4x1 team not qualifying and the women's 4x4 team, is that, in my opinion, those teams stand a better chance of making it on time than the men 4x4, because we still don't know if the capable athletes would have shown up for the men 4x4 to run a fast time this year, like what happened last year. The reality is, with the men, well, hopefully their coaches will allow them to be available at whatever minute they are going to arrange or they're going to participate in, so they can present some good time to pick up any of those two spots. But I think the men are capable of doing it. And also, if the right 4x4 women team show up, then it is also possible. But again, that is going to be based on, when they are going to run, and if the coaches and the athletes were capable, like Nikisha Price and possibly having a Stacey and Williams on that relay, would allow us to run a time that could probably pick up one of those two spots that are available. But it is what it is. So it's off to a somewhat disappointing start, but the season is long. We're hoping that individuals will show up and in the end will continue to make us proud, because we have always been doing well, and I believe that we have the crop of athletes who will continue to do so. So that's my update for you. I want to hear from you, though. You think Shericka Jackson would have made more impact on the 4x4 team, and with the situation with both Yohan and Julian, what you think coaches could have done differently to avoid that situation happening? As I said, personally, a coach can know say Julian was going to be injured, although he has a history of being injured frequently, but I don't think the coach could have known that. But drop a comment, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and until my next upload, take care.